Hello friends and viewers, and welcome to my SP Rawiyah character guide. If you're here for a quick reference, I've created a pocket guide for the beginning of the video. Without further ado, my introduction. My name is James, I'm a global player and I started playing Sword of Convallaria in September 2024. I'm a longtime strategy and turn-based RPG fan with the Fire Emblem series, Tactics Ogre, and Unicorn Overlord as some recent titles I enjoy. I'm a PvE focused player in Sword of Convallaria. I have no interest or knowledge of PvP. As a global player, I lack the technical knowledge and exposure to the Taiwan and China scenes. As a result, I'm subject to feedback and I'm open to being wrong. If you come across conflicting information to other guides and creators, then there are absolutely multiple ways to play a character. Play your way. As a fun fact about myself, I am a Thai tea boba enjoyer. SP Rawiyah's trait is Sunny Spirit. After using an AoE attack, she can act again. This effect has a 3-turn cooldown via Fatigue at star level 1 and a 1-turn cooldown at star level 5. SP Rawiyah accrues stacks of stamina. Stacks of stamina increases her crit, damage, and crit damage. It has a cap of 10 stacks at star level 1 and a cap of 30 stacks at star level 5. Her initial skill is Gale Dance. The first form, Sincerity, deals 65% AoE damage within 3 tiles around her. The skill then switches to Resolution, dealing 85% AoE damage but within 2 tiles around her. Resolution costs 1 energy. This is one of 2 active AoE skills SP Rawiyah has access to. At rank 1, I recommend Gale Piercing Clouds with the Castalia for Gale Void Slash. Gale Piercing Clouds is an instant charge ability and an enemy dispel via stealing buffs, in addition to increasing the damage of your next active skill, ideally used to increase your energy spender. Gale Void Slash does a minor amount of AoE damage, but it can trigger up to 3 times per round, accumulating stamina stacks and inflicting level 2 debuffs. Void Slash is also an AoE attack to trigger Act Again from her trait if you casted a single target attack. Learning this skill is necessary to unlock the same SP skill for Breaker Rawiyah. At rank 3, your options are Mobile Crew or Police Lasso. Mobile Crew will put SP Rawiyah's speed at 280, allowing her to move first in a round in most cases. With her trait allowing Act Again, this could be helpful in securing several kills early in a round. Police Lasso inflicts restraint, reducing a target's speed by 100 and makes them unable to move. It also inflicts attack and assist debuffs, and the stun effect comes into play with other units that inflict restraint. This can isolate a target to remain within SP Rawiyah's AoE range. However, Police Lasso loses value on enemies that possess immunity to disrupt and bound effects. These skills are unlikely to be a regular part of SP Rawiyah's skill loadout. If you can't decide, select based on the HP or defense stat gain. My pick here is Police Lasso. At rank 5, I recommend I'm Mad Now. SP Rawiyah specializes in AoE damage, which means as a squishy seeker, she will frequently face multiple enemies at a time. Resolve via I'm Mad Now enables you to play her a bit riskier, but note Resolve can only trigger once per battle. Additionally, the damage and damage reduction buffs will trigger from the death of summoned units. It's still worth noting that Vital Guard provides active damage reduction, whereas I'm Mad Now has more conditional triggers. The dodge buff can potentially save SP Rawiyah's life more times than I'm Mad Now can, but it may be easier to backtrack instead to correct poor play. You may consider using a Castalia for both skills for the attack stat increase. At rank 7, I recommend Gale Sword Chaotic Flurry and a potential Castalia for Gale Draw Blade. Gale Sword Chaotic Flurry is both gear and star level dependent to optimize, while also having a hefty 4 energy cost. In one round, you want to be able to cast 2 active abilities to use Chaotic Flurry to its full potential. This means having a gear and or skill kit with instant abilities, and this can also mean reserving Chaotic Flurry for her Act Again turn. Gale Draw Blade means movement becomes part of SP Rawiyah's damage rotation. Draw Blade can help with consecutive Gale Dance casts, or if you invest a Castalia, it can also help with Chaotic Flurry's energy cost. At rank 9, your options are Try the Punch or Powerful Attack. Try the Punch deals less damage than her initial basic attack, 85% versus 100% physical damage, but performs a 1-tile knockback. The skill then switches to Get Out of My Sight, which charges, deals 110% physical damage, knocks back by 2 tiles, and inflicts stun upon collisions. In scenarios where the knockback nor stun are valuable, you can still revert back to a regular basic attack if you do not want to spend a Convallaria here. The knockback and stun utilities from Try the Punch allows SP Rawiyah to help her self-displaced enemies for her AoE abilities. Get Out of My Sight can be used with Draw Blade to restore energy. However, with Void Slash, Get Out of My Sight risks knocking an enemy back outside of Void Slash's damage range. Powerful Attack performs more overall damage than Try the Punch and Get Out of My Sight. SP Rawiyah acts again more frequently at higher star levels, which nets more basic attack actions. Your choice of Gale Dance or Chaotic Flurry as her core energy spender also impact how frequently she will perform basic attacks. Determine if knockback utility or raw damage is more important to you. If you still cannot decide, select based on the HP or defense stat gain. My pick here is Powerful Attack. At rank 11, your options are Fancy Footwork or Hunting Impulse. Realistically, both skills are unlikely to be a regular part of SP Rawiyah's skill loadout. You may be familiar with these from Blade and Recruit Assassin's skill kits. Fancy Footwork allows a dodge tank in a pinch, but again, it is already learnable by Blade and Recruited Assassin. Dodging is not stat or gear dependent, so Blade or Recruited Assassin may already fulfill your dodging needs. Hunting Impulse is the only single target skill SP Rawiyah can learn, so selecting this allows some play diversity. By itself, it is a poor stamina generator, and you will need to pair this with a skill to trigger her act again, so you will most likely always load out Hunting Impulse with Have a Drink and Void Slash. You can of course consider learning both for the attack stat gain. My pick here is Hunting Impulse. SP Rawiyah's SP skill is Have a Drink. To learn this SP skill, Breaker Rawiyah must have learned Another Pint, and SP Rawiyah must be star level 3. Have a Drink offers some self-sustain, increases damage via Tipsy and Armor Piercing, and instantly gain 10 stacks of stamina. When using Have a Drink, it's reasonable to cast on cooldown, specifically for the damage buffs and stamina stacks. This build focuses on Gale Dance as the primary energy spender. Recall Void Slash can trigger up to 3 times per round, which you should strive for regularly, but especially early in battle to accumulate and cap stamina stacks. The first 2 triggers in a round should come from Piercing Clouds and Gale Dance, and the third trigger should occur during her Act Again turn. Upon achieving star level 3, consider substituting Void Slash for Have a Drink. This build focuses on Chaotic Flurry as the primary energy spender, and I recommend this build at star level 4 but star level 5 preferred. At star level 4 to 5, SP Rawiyah acts again faster than she can cast Chaotic Flurry if she has no external energy regen support. Void Slash is selected to guarantee triggering Act Again anytime it is available. Recall you must cast 2 active abilities to use Chaotic Flurry to its full potential. Basic attacks do contribute to increasing Chaotic Flurry's damage. For your third skill slot, consider Piercing Clouds or Have a Drink. If energy regen is more important to you than executing Chaotic Flurry with 3 hits of 50% damage, you can consider Draw Blade. I deeply advise equipping SP Rawiyah with an Instant Cast Trinket. Instant Cast Trinkets will contribute to increasing Chaotic Flurry's damage as well, so try to prefer Roaring Flint or Flying Blade Arm Guard if possible. If you are invested in playing SP Rawiyah for single target damage, this build focuses on Hunting Impulse. Have a Drink is selected to help her stamina deficit without constant AoE attacks, and Void Slash is selected to help trigger her Act Again. For weapons, Gale's Sword is SP Rawiyah's signature weapon, best used with an instant skill to trigger the crit damage buff for her energy spender. If, for some reason, you are not using Gale's Sword on SP Rawiyah, consider Feast Axe or Tuning Hammer. Not pictured here is Denial Hammer. In scenarios where you need knockback power, and knockbacks are your only goal on a map, you can use Denial Hammer with her Try the Punch basic attack. For Trinkets, Roaring Flint's AoE attack helps accrue stamina stacks, and as an instant ability, it contributes to triggering the additional damage gains of Chaotic Flurry and Gale's Sword. Otherwise, consider Flying Blade Armguard for the same purposes. With SP Rawiyah's Secret Mobility and Charge skills, as well as Resolve from I'm Mad Now, you can afford riskier play to consider Maverick's Cloak. If none of the above, then Origin Hourglass is fine for the simple physical attack increase. For Taros, Dream of the Magician is the best overall option to increase her AoE damage. Verdict of Justice is also a good option for the crit and crit damage increases. As you will most likely roster SP Rawiyah on maps with high target count, Temptation of the Devil is also worthwhile to consider. For Engravings, my only recommendation is a Sword and Wand Resonance. With SP Rawiyah's Secret Mobility and Charge skills, she should have no problems fully activating the attack and defense gains. To provide some composition and usage tips, as iterated, SP Rawiyah excels at AoE damage. Depending on map level design, it can be worth considering pairing her with units who have displacement abilities such as hooks and knockbacks, specifically for the purpose of grouping up targets to optimize her AoE damage. Similarly, when playing with SP Rawiyah, consider having your team close together if possible. If your team is grouped up close to each other, you manipulate the enemy AI to move in a singular direction. This baits the enemy to group and set themselves up for AoE damage. When fielding SP Rawiyah, try to cap her stamina stacks quickly and early in battle. Externally, Inanna's Princess's Prayer is a good option to support this. SP Rawiyah is part of the Night Crimson, Area, and Aggression categories. While we do not yet have a unique Night Crimson Leader's Aura yet with her release, consider pairing her with Dantalion and or Nona for their Leader's Auras. For external category buffs, Dantalion's Aura provides the unique effect of more damage to enemies with 3 or more debuffs. This can easily be achieved with multiple triggers of her Void/passive. Nona Aggression Aura is great to increase her overall skill damage. Inanna's Soulmate is a good ability to have among an Aryan team, providing attack and defense buffs. Xavier and K Fire Conjurer have the Battle Flag of Aria, but I recommend using Dantalion's and or Nona Leader's Aura instead if possible. This concludes my character guide. As mentioned in my disclaimer, I welcome feedback and I'm open to being wrong. I'm still learning and improving just like you are. Once again, if you find conflicting information to other guides or content creators, then that means there are multiple ways to build a character and still achieve success. If you have any feedback for me, please feel welcome to comment below. I also have my various social media platforms on this slide here. Last but not least, I want to credit and shout out these resources that helped me put this guide together. Voyage Memento for their character build samples and reference links, the Sword of Convallaria No Potion fan site for skill images and skill descriptions, the Sword of Convallaria Cloud Drop Wiki for skill filtering and gear images, and the Billy Game and Game Key Chinese sites for character art assets. I highly recommend visiting these links to build your Sword of Convallaria knowledge. Thank you so much for watching this character guide, and I will see you in the next one.